up, YouTube? TFO619 in the building, and I'm coming to you guys with my latest League Cup report. We had a league, well, there was a League Cup on this past Sunday at Vans Comic Store, ironically. It's got the same name up in Colorado Springs, and I'm coming to you guys with the report I had and my matches. I'm going to try to go through my matches as best as I can with what I remember, and then going into top 8 and all that. And at the end, I'll say what changes I may or may not make to the deck. And then, of course, I'm going to show you guys my deck list. So going off the top, I played Zoroark Guardy. I opted for I just like Zoroark. I know everyone's telling me to play the Swampert version, but I don't know. There's some things I like about Swampert. There's things I don't like about Swampert, but you know, I play what I want to play, and that's that. So this is the list that I played going into the cup. This isn't the same list from the what you rented video that I posted a couple weeks back or whatever. I changed it since then, but this is the actual list that I went in to the cup with. So I'm just gonna go through kind of quickly, just four Zoroark, 3 Rolts, 2 Gardevoir GX, 1 non-GX Gardevoir, 3 Tapu Lele, a 2/2 Alolan Ninetales, a 101, excuse me, Solgaleo GX, the promo that came out, and 1 Ditto Prism Star. That's all the Pokemon supporters I played. 4 Elm, 3 Cynthia, 3 Guzma, a Dianthe, and a Mallow. I played 4 Ultra Ball, 4 Rare Candy, 2 Devour Field, and then my one-ofs I played was 1 Max Pot, 1 Rescue Stretcher, 1 Choice Band, 1 Multi-Switch, and then my energy was 6 Fairy and 4 Double Colorless. So this is the list I went into the cup with. I've been playtesting the crap out of it, and it's been doing wonders for me. So there's 6 rounds, and then there's top cut, and yeah. So going through my rounds, I gotta refer to my notes. I'm sorry, guys. Going to my rounds. Round 1, I versed Ho-Oh, and there's not really much to talk about that. They started lone Ho-Oh, and they eventually got in. I think it was an Entei out or something like that, but they only took 1 prize, which was on my Ditto. I actually started Lele, but I was still able to Elm. I think I had Elms in hand, and then I Elmed to try to set a little bit of a board, but I just went aggro Lele. My Lele had 2 DCEs, the Choice Band, and I think 2 Fairies, and just there wasn't anything they can do. Yeah, they didn't get much setup, but I mean, I usually don't try to go aggro Lele, but it just kind of fell in my lap. Well, that's Devour Fields. If you guys can see that, it's Devour Fields. So I win round 1. Round 2, I play a good friend of mine. He's playing Buzzrock, Buzzwole and Lycanroc. I think he has a little bit of he has some Zoroark in there, but he didn't get it out till like later in the game. But he just wasn't drawing very good. I ended up getting the Ninetales and setting up and just pretty much doing whatever I needed to. So I win that one. So now I'm 2-0. Third round, I play against the Malamar spread, and I was really excited about that because I sat next to the guy who was playing the Malamar spread, so we knew what each other were playing. And when I sat down, it's like he knew I was playing Zoroark. So I went first. I opened Elms, and I just got 2 Zoroark and a Ditto. And I think I started Vulpix. It was like the supreme start, and yeah, I just took off. He he did get, I think he racked up, I think maybe 70 or 80 damage of Shrine just because I could not find my field blower or my mallow to grab the field blower for the life of me. So late game, I was able to bump his stadium, but I just kept attacking and getting rid of the Malamar. He'd put spell tags on him, and I would just Guzma around whatever had a spell tag, and yeah, he just couldn't like secure knockouts because you would just max pod or whatever, and yeah, I just kind of just had it going. So now I'm 3-0. And then we go to lunch, come back, and I used to have like the lunch curse, and I'm like, oh. And of course, the lunch curse happens. So round 4, I play against Cake Pop, Blacephalon. I can't stand that deck. It's like right there with Lost March, but I hate Cake Pop the most. I think it's a shit deck, and just to, kind of just sit on your hand until they have your beast rings, and then you just double or triple beast ring, and like you're good. Like I just hate that shit. So he kind of sets up. I hope to set up, but I Cynthia and I whiffed the energy. And so what ended up happening is I actually fed him. I had to feed him to Alolan Ninetales GX, hoping that I could just get the energy, and I didn't. Like I think I was able to trade ties, and like I said, I Cynthia and just whiff the energy. And I needed any energy because I know it had either a fairy or a DCE. I would think it was a fairy because, like I said, I needed any energy, and I just whiffed the other 9 that I played. So I actually lose that one. So now I'm 3-1. Round 5, I play against my good friend Jeff, and he's playing Decidueye, Zork, Owls, and he goes first, so he gets his Elm or whatever. I get my Elm, so I'm always a turn behind. And then he Ninetales, or he Alolan Ninetales, he grabs a Counter Catcher and an Enhance Hammer. So the Enhance Hammer is one of my DC, I think off of Guardy or something like that. And he's spreading damage, and we play each other. He comes on to Pueblo when we play at the league, my local league. So he knows exactly what I'm playing. Everybody knows I'm playing because I spent so much time and money blinging it out. Everybody knows what I'm playing. I don't change for anybody. So I able to bench a Cosmog. He knows when I won with the Sogalia to Oko is Ninetales, so he ends up swinging with like the Water Vulpix or the water Alolan Ninetales GX, and Feather Arrows my Cosmog and for knockout, and so on and so forth. And he ends up trading into the last Guzma he needed to Guzma my Lele, Feather Arrow, and then just attack for the game. That was the only game that I used Diantha, or whatever, however you say it. And when I used it, it was for a couple cards that I couldn't play right away that I needed to play later, and he ended up just judging me out of it, so I didn't even get to use the cards that I Diantha for. And then just taking a step back, I used the non-GX Guardy in the Malamar matchup round 3, just because I couldn't get one of these Gardevoirs, and just to save my rolls from the Coco spread. That was the first time I used that, and then that was the only time all day that I used Diantha. So I'm probably gonna cut this. Okay, so I lose that one. It's best of 1, sorry guys. So I lose that one. So now I am 3-2. I'm 3-2 going into round 6. I'm like, I can't cut. So we still play it out though. So round 6, I play against Buzzwole, Weavile, and that's a good friend of mine, Harrison. And he couldn't really get much going. I turned 1 Elm. I think one game in top 8. No. Yeah, I never missed a turn 1 Elm. Either I had it in hand or I laid for it all day long. So I love the 4 Elms. I'm not kidding that, but yeah, I got turn 1 Elm every single game all day long. But then he Guzma's a Zora with the Baby Buzz, and then just Sledgehammers it for knockout. And then after that, he didn't really have anything. He judges me I take a couple prize. I take a prize. He takes a prize. I take a couple prizes. He judged me into like a fairy DCE choice band and like Cynthia, and I already had like a big Guardy, so I had a Guardy with a choice band. It has a choice band, like 3 fairy, 2 DCEs, and it was pretty much over from that. And it was pretty funny because he actually played a one line of Electro GS where you just blow the Trode and, you know, be able to get all your counter energies and counter game going. So I had 2 prizes left, so he just blew his Electro to give me the game because there wasn't anything he can do. He wasn't on a sledgehammer turn and he didn't have much set up. I Sublimation GX'd his Buzzwole GX and it was pretty much done after that. So I end Swiss being 4-2. But with that being said, my only losses were to Cake Pop and Decidueye. So my resistance was really high, so I ended up being 7th seed in top 8, which I didn't expect, but yeah. So going into top 8, I'm 7th seed, and I play against Lasuthalon, the same guy who I lost to in Swiss, and I just hate that deck. I just can't stand it. But yeah, so game 1, we're setting up or whatnot, and I in my head I was like, well, I'm not really too sure what I guess I should be doing, honestly. Outside of like the Sublimation GX, I have to need a Power Picardy, so on and so forth. So I go real aggro. I take 2 prizes right away, and then he double or triple beast rings, and then just runs me over. I'm like, okay, well, you're good because you beast ring. So I lose game 1. Going into game 2, I took it a little slower, and not try to preemptively give him onto his beast ring turn. So I'm spreading damage and taking knockouts here and there on his Naganadels and trying to get off the beast ring turn and all that. And I end up like trading into a Lele, and I Lele for the Guzma, and I Guzma. Whatever, I don't remember. I think it was either Naganadel or Blissathlon. Something. Maybe it was even one of his Lele's. I don't know. I basically just Lele and then Guzma, and then whatever I Guzma, I had game. So I win game 2. Now game 3, I'm like, okay, well, I'm not gonna go aggro, and I could tell he wanted me to go aggro because every time my Alolan Ninetales was in the active, he put his hand under his cards, like, okay, well, he's just gonna knock it out. Like he was edging me on to use my GX attack to knock out his Blacephalons, to get his beast ring. So in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna do that. I tried a different approach, and I did swing with the Alolan Ninetales. But I was doing 70-30s, spreading it around and then trying to take 4 prizes so he doesn't get a beast ring turn. And one of the plays I had to do, this was the second time that I had this Gardevoir, this non-GX one, that I used because I couldn't find the GX. And I actually paid whatever I had to retreat, and I went into the non-GX Guardian, and then I used its top attack, Brilliant Search, where it's kind of like Sylveon. It is Sylveon GX's first attack, where you search your deck for 3 cards and put them into your hand. You have to reveal them. So I did that to, I think I got a Guzma, a DCE, and like a Cynthia for the following turn or whatnot. So that came in clutch. But honestly, I think I'm just gonna cut it and for something else. But I'll explain that at the end. But that was the second time that I had actually evolved Ralts into this Gardevoir and then used it. The Malamar, I just evolved it because I couldn't find these 2 to save the Ralts from being flying flipped to death. So yeah, we're going back and forth. And then this is where I misplayed, and I was so mad at myself. After my boys told me, because we're like the last game, so everyone's watching our match or whatnot, and so he didn't really have much going on. I didn't want to get him into like his beast, continue on to his beast returns, and so what I did was I don't know. I think I either Guzma or paid its retreat or whatnot, whatever's active, and I sent up a Gardevoir GX, and I used my Twilight GX because I needed my Guzmas back. I needed some energy, and like a couple other cards. So I didn't want to get him onto his Beast Ring turn. I still wanted to keep swinging with the Ninetales to take 2 prizes on Blacephalons, so I could just take 4 and get him off of his Beast Ring turn. Because one Blacephalon had like one had like, I don't know, like 50 or 60 HP left, and then the other one on the bench that I was hitting had like 30. So I had it to where I can just attack once with the Alolan Ninetales and take 4 prizes to get him off his Beast Ring. So I Twilighted GX. I got whatever energy I had in there, a Choice Band, I think I got Devour Field, and then I had gotten a Guzma. So I know that I had a Guzma in my deck, and I didn't see that I had my other Guzma in here. So that's what I want to point out to playing such a full bling deck. I had 2 Guzma in my discard pile, but my eyes didn't register the other Guzma. So when I Twilighted GX, I only put 1 Guzma back, and I put back a Rescue Stretcher, just a burnable card. Yeah, I didn't want to put back Elms or anything like that. And I know I put back all the energy. I put back this stupid ass Rescue Stretcher, Guzma, Cynthia, and I think like Devour Field, whatever cards that I could out that was burnable in my deck that wasn't, Lecture and like Pokemon pretty much. But I had 2 Guzma in my discard pile, but my eyes only registered that I had the one. I didn't just see the other one, so I just was like, okay, Rescue Stretcher, and I just playing such gold cards is what really like fucked me over. So I put back the 1 Guzma, and instead of putting back the 2 Guzma that I had, I put back a Guzma and a Rescue Stretcher, and hoping to get the Guzma so I can Guzma up the Blacephalon, and then attack with the Alolan Ninetales, take 4 prizes, and then that was it. I was gonna win the game, and so then I did that. He did whatever he did, which didn't get him a prize, and I draw whatever, and then I trade. I have 2 Zoroark online, and I trade, and one of the cards was the Rescue Stretcher. So if I would have just seen the other Guzma in the discard pile and put that back instead of the Rescue Stretcher I traded into would have been the Guzma. I would have Guzma up to Blacephalon and took 4 prizes, and he wouldn't have been on his Beast Ring turn. And I would have just went after that because I have the non-Guardy GX and all of that. But no, it was a Rescue Stretcher. So I missed the Guzma. He ended up being able to. He put a Beast Ring on like a Naganadel and had a Choice Band, so then he KO'd my Alolan Ninetales, and then he still had his no, he already used the GX attack, so I didn't lose to a Burst GX, I'll tell you that much. But like the next turn or 2 turns later, he got a Blacephalon powered up and did 250 or whatever he needed to do to knock out whatever I had any active. So I ended up losing in top 8 to Blacephalon. The Cake Pop deck ended up winning the whole entire tournament, which even was more aggravating. But yeah, that I really wanted to showcase the point that it's not a good idea, I guess, really to just fully bling your deck, because my eyes didn't register that I had another Guzma, so I just threw back a Rescue Stretcher, and that literally cost me going to the top 4. But yeah, that was my day. Changes that I should, consider making is, the 3/3 I'm okay with. I thought a lot of people were going to go after my rolls, but they really didn't, and I honestly really needed like 1 Gardevoir. So I'm considering honestly just scrapping this non-GX Guardy and just making it a 3rd Gardevoir GX and just losing the Hoopa. Whatevs. Like, it's not a lot of people are playing Hoopa, and yeah, I think I'm just gonna do that because I need this Guardy more, because obviously it has Secret Spring and Twilight. I've been using that. I rarely use this. really in any matchup, honestly, with the testing, I usually just chuck it. So I'm probably just gonna switch that to a third Gardevoir GX and just lose to Hoopa. Um, the one with Solgaleo really comes in handy. The Ditto, obviously, Alolan Ninetales is so important that it's a third Alolan Vulpix and it's a fifth Zorua. So I really like the Ditto. It really helps out a lot during the day. I'm probably gonna cut Dianthy just because it's very situational. Yeah, I can re-get like a Max Pot, Choice Bands, whatever. My Choice Band, I should say. But if I really need that back, I guess I could just Twilight GX. I guess I considering putting in Timer Ball as much as I hate that card, but when you hit it, just even one heads, it's just so beneficial in speeding up the evolution process. I relied a lot, obviously, on Beacon. I'd Beacon for, depending on whatever the situation is, I'd either Beacon for, 2 Zoroark or a Zoroark and a Ninetales. But, in order, if I just hit a couple of Timer Balls, I can just use my Beacons instead for, other pieces that I'm missing when I grab the rare candy, which 9 times out of 10 I do when I evolve to Ninetales. So I'm definitely probably going to put in a Timer Ball or two. Thinking about running a second Choice Band just so I can already have room made for when the new Fairy Charm comes out that prevents your Fairy type Pokemon from being like damaged by Ultra Beast. I think that's what the translation is. So that'll make Ultra Beast decks start playing Field Blower more. So I probably gonna just do that to make room for it. But definitely probably some Timer Balls, as much as I hate that card. Everything else was pretty solid. If not the Energy Lotto, I don't know. Either I'm on the fence. I'm probably just gonna bite the bullet and just play Timer Ball. Even though I've seen so many people just flip all tails, including myself. That's why I hate that card as well. But there's not really any option. We don't have Eagle Soda and Great Balls, and it's pretty iffy. I'm probably just gonna, like I said, bite the bullet, take a chance, and just play Timer Ball. So yeah, everything else I feel is pretty solid. For running so much Pokemon, it actually worked. My hands weren't clogged, especially with Zora, being able just to trade them away. But yeah, for so many Pokemon, I think I played like 23, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3. No, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, yeah, 24 Pokemon. It really just works, honestly. Yeah, supporters I think are fine. Obviously, I'm gonna play the Mallow since I'm playing Zoroark, since he can just literally just search me any card I'm missing and just trade into it. To Dianthy, like I said, I'm probably gonna cut. I'm not too set on it. I guess I only used it once, and I just got judged away in that in particular time. So I'd rather just cut it and just probably make it a Timer Ball or something, and just more risk, more reward. 4 Ultra Ball, of course, 4 Candy, because now I play the 101 Solgaleo. I definitely want to max out my candies. I didn't have a problem with the energy. 6 and 4 worked just fine for me. And then just the Devour Fields. It came clutch during the Cake Pop matchup when I swing with Zoroark. And then obviously just the counter Stadium for the Shrine. And, taking advantage of people's Brooklet Hills and then just bumping it away. So other than that, everything else seems pretty set. Like I said, I'm probably just going to switch this to a third Guardia GX and then just lose to Hoopa and then probably switch that to like a Timer Ball. The only other thing I think is Chimico. I played this also for the Chimico. When I was testing, it really came clutch at like a challenge or something. Someone tried to Chimico me to death and ended up like mallowing, and then I got the candy, and then the next turn I got the Gardevoir, and then just knocked it out. But honestly, with the Chimico, I'm just gonna swing in with the Zora. Zora resists psychic, so Chimico's not gonna be doing any damage to me, and I'll just ram it until it knocks out, and then we'll just by that time I would have already had Ninetales and Gardevoirs and Lele's to be able to set up my field right away as soon as the Chimico is knocked out, and that'll just be that. I'm not too really worried about Chimico. It's Hoopa that I'm more worried about, but I don't know. What can you do? That'll just be that. So yeah, that's my tournament report, guys. Make sure you like, comment, rate, subscribe. Let me know if you have any ideas for any changes besides just cutting the Zoroark line and just playing the Swampert, because I don't want to do that. Even though I have the Swamperts, I might test it, but I don't know. Just don't hop on the bandwagon and just play Swampert because they did good and won regionals, and so and so is playing Swampert, so it's a good card, and it's a good card. It's just just don't follow the fucking trends. So yeah, and until next time, guys. I plan on going to Cheyenne, Wyoming, so I'll be there next month in January, and that'll be like the first vlog where it's like me and like my family together. So then we'll all be on camera and all that. I didn't do a vlog trip for this one because Springs is half far away from where I live, so it kind of just be like a waste. But for the road trip and the tournament and sightseeing and all that, me and my family were gonna go up a few days early before the tournament and eat and check out all the sites, and so that'll be like a really nice vlog, all of us together, having fun and stuff like that. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. Sorry this video was long. I just wanted to go through my matchups and let you guys know what was working and what wasn't working. If you guys have any ideas, please let me know in the comment section below, and I'll test it. If it's good, I'll give you credit, and that'll be that.